Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to today's Sigstore community meeting on Tuesday, March the 7th. I'm going to jump right into the agenda here. Do feel free to add things as we go along to the relevant sections, and we should be able to get around to everything. So we're going to kick off with a project round robin, and starting with the main projects, Rico, Falsi, and Cosine. I think the big news is Cosine 2.0 is released. And yeah, Hayden, Priya, do you want to, well done. Do you want to say some more about this?
Yeah, sure. So we released Cosine 2.0. It comes with a bunch of breaking changes. Hayden wrote this great blog post, which kind of like details all the different changes and some of the like new things that we've added. And they're just like a bunch of flags that have been renamed so that hopefully they make like a little bit more sense now. And it's like more obvious what everything does. So yeah, definitely check it out, file some issues if like the behavior is confusing or not what you expected, or you see a bug. And yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks in particular to Hayden, Asra, and Zach, who like really helped push this forward.
Yeah, congratulations. Now that's lots went into that, and it's nice to see it finally out. Have we had any kind of feedback, reactions? Are people generally happy, or just?
I haven't really seen any issues being open saying that anything is broken. So either people haven't used it yet or it's just working. Hopefully it'd be really cool. But yeah, hopefully like feedback is super welcome. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Amazing. Yeah, no news is good news, I think. Let's go. Awesome. Okay, do we have updates? Anything noteworthy happening on the Rico Falsio side?
Fulcio, I'll be cutting a 1.2 release in a bit. There's a little bit more that's going to go into it. The PR from a little while ago for creating the standardized set of claims for CI. I'm working on implementation of that now, so that'll be a part of 1.2. And there was also a question on the Slack. I a couple weeks ago released 1.1, which included support for BuildKite. That has not yet been rolled out to production. Hopefully by end of week, I'll make an update in the Slack when we have that rolled out.
Great. Okay, yeah, thanks for that update. And Rico, I'm going to assume there's nothing.
I'm hoping to have some docs to share that go a bit into witnessing support. So being able to verify the integrity of the transparency log. I'm working on some docs there, so hopefully I'll have an update soon.
Yeah, no, that will be great. It's a lot of work, so we'll look forward to that. Oh, and Brandon Mitchell has a comment. My only cosine to breaking change was needing to add -y to my commands in my GitHub Actions. Easy fix for me, but maybe a gotcha to others. Cool. Okay, yeah, let's take a note of that, see if this is a place we can update.
Do we have an environment variable for that? Does anyone know?
All flags should now be able to be specified in the environment too. So cosine _ yes should be sufficient.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay, on to other projects, git sign, timestamping root. I see an update for root. Is that Ezra? All right, I'll just read it. Yeah, version 6 root was issued last week. And thanks, Commodore Captain Carlos. And this root contains a serialized JSON protobuf with the trusted root per the protobuf specs for clients to use. Cool. And do you have anything git sign, Billy? Nothing new, still building to the 1.0 release. And timestamping, let's see, Hayden.
I just wanted to mention, we just cut a second release candidate for the timestamp authority. The only difference between this one and the previous is this is using Go 1.20. The plan is cut the 1.0 release in probably a week. So give it a try. Let us know if you see any issues. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, clients, what do we have? Any updates on that?
No huge updates, but I just wanted to highlight that the conformance tests have been officially upstream. Sorry if we covered this last time, but I missed it if we did. Which is exciting. Kind of next steps there are sort of figuring out how that fits into our overall testing strategy for clients. That we'll do on GitHub and not on a call with this many people on it. But I will advertise that as soon as the kind of discussions go out. But that's I think super exciting. So thanks for to everyone who contributed to that.
Sorry, Zach, I missed the beginning of the sentence. The conformance has what?
Oh, they are now officially in the Sigstore organization on GitHub.
Okay, perfect. Nice. Yeah, that's really nice to see. And other things in clients, how is private beta going? Any updates from NPM folks?
No, nothing in particular. Lots of good feedback, but we're planning to go to public beta. I forget the exact date, the end of this month, essentially. So we're working furiously towards that.
Nice. Look forward to that. Okay, move on to docs. Season of docs, I think. Is this Lisa? Did you throw that in?
Yeah, I'm planning to apply to get support for docs through the season of docs. The deadline is maybe in 2 weeks. If anybody has any experience with this program, I would love to get like a review on this proposal or any other insight people might have, just so that we can make a strong proposal.
Right. And Lisa, the proposal, it's just done at the organization level, first of all, right? We don't have to specify specific projects just yet.
Yeah, it's done at the organizational level. I mean, what I would be asking for would be for the documentation on the docs.sigstore.dev, but it could be across any project, I think, within Sigstore.
Okay. Yeah, I have sort of tangentially been involved with the Jenkins community and Season of Docs, and they had a really good experience on some really great writers who actually stuck around in the community. So yeah, plus one. Let's put in this application, and yeah, I encourage all the projects. I guess not immediately, but if we can start scoping out specific pieces of work to help improve the documentation for our sub projects, our client projects, yeah, I encourage you to get involved.
Lisa, I can ask around and see if anybody has experience with these proposals too. I'll ping you if there's any names.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for any help. Yeah.
Was there a deadline for the org applications?
I think it's March 21st. It's hard to find it. You have to look on the timeline bar.
I'll go with that for now.
Yeah.
So get a vague idea of. Okay, anything else? Project updates? So anyone jump in that we may have missed earlier? Now's your chance. Okay, switching tack to outreach and events. KubeCon Europe is coming up. This hasn't really changed. It's just there for reference. There's a channel. Jump in there if you're planning to go. There's a bunch of folks who will be there. I encourage you all to get together. PyCon, just highlighting here, William Woodruff has a talk on Sigstore, so that's pretty cool. And then also at Devoxx France, from the Java client side, there's a Sigstore workshop with Heb Boutelami. I think that's like 3 hours of Sigstore goodness. That's going to be in French as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot of work they're putting in towards having materials for that. So looking forward to that. Open Source North America is coming up. The Open Source Summit North America is coming up May 10th to 12th. A part of that will include an OpenSSF day which has a distinct call for papers, which is open now. I highly encourage folks to submit talks around Sigstore and maybe its relationship with other open SSF projects. I think that would be cool. Any questions on those? Or any ones I may have missed, to let me know. Blog post, there's a Cosine 2.0 blog we called out earlier, and nothing new on the Sigstore landscape.
One thing I just wanted to mention for blog posts, we did migrate a little while ago off Medium, and as a result of that, some of our blog posts you might see are 404ing. We're aware of that. If you were the author of any of those and you still have the original text, let me know or post on the issue. I'll link that in a moment. And then the ask for, I think it's Dan, I'm not sure who admins the Medium post. We need to turn off the redirect temporarily so that we're able to access all the blog posts.
Cool. Yeah, no, thanks for sorting that. I can poke down and see. I can do that. And I think we had a lot of the posts originally in Google Docs, so I'll take a look at the list and see what I can dig up. Okay, moving on. We've got lots of topics to get through. I'm going to kick off the one on logos. I stuck that one in. So I want to share, it's a really interesting one, but the Linux Foundation reached out to say that or rather the designer who did the original Sigstore logo said they were dealing with a copyright issue around the wax seal. So that was kind of interesting. But what they suggested, they needed to redraw the seal part of the logo, and then we need to update to the logo. So they provided a bunch of options, and the TSC picked one. To be honest, most folks felt they looked pretty similar, but we are now asking for the updated design files, and then once we have that, we will have to go through and do a sweep to replace the old logo. So a bit of a pain, but yeah, I think we have to, just copyright issue, so no way around it. So as soon as we get the files, I'll be sharing them in this issue, and then try to work with various folks to just find where it's been used and get it updated. Any questions? Otherwise, so while we're doing a bunch of logo work, I think we can do some on some of the other projects. So I know this has been a request for a while, but we have some bandwidth to sort it now. So there's a request for the Sigstore's policy controller logo. And what I'm asking folks is to give some input as what they would like that logo to look like. So do they want it similar to the Sigstore one, a completely different color? Or so I encourage folks to go in and add to building up the creative brief. And likewise, if there's any other Sigstore project or anything in our ecosystem which we want a logo, typically because we want to highlight it to end users and we want to help people discover it in the landscape, now's a good time to request that. So we can kind of maybe do some batch requests. So please do file an issue on the community repo, and ideally just say what you want the logo for, and you can fill in some of the things from the creative brief, just like what sort of ideas do you have behind it? What should it look like? What should it not look like? And then we can go from there. Okay, that's all I have on logos. Any questions, comments? Great. Next one, is there a roadmap? Great question. Who?
Yeah, I added this, but in response to a question, because someone was like, I have an idea. If I start working on it, will I be stepping on toes? And the answer was, I don't know. You have to just kind of shout into the void and hope someone notices right now, as far as I can tell.
I think the best way right now is file an issue in the repository, or if you want to pick up an existing one, write a design doc, Yeah, we don't have any cohesive roadmap across the board.
Yeah, is that something we think we would be useful? I've seen other communities figure out ways to do it, and it usually takes the look of what people are planning to work on now, what they've got on the further horizon, and then just all kind of shared in one place and maybe broken up by themes. So it could be like, here's what we're doing for the Java client or other areas. Do people think that would be useful?
Yeah, I think this also relates to the formation of SIGs. I think once we have those, each of them can kind of set their own roadmaps, and it should be a little bit easier to get involved and know what's currently ongoing.
Actually, since you raised that, is this a good time to say what's happening with SIGs? I don't think it's ever been covered in this call, so maybe for this audience, is there an update there we can share from the TSC? Zach or Hayden? Oh, I don't see any TSC folks.
Priya?
Oh, Priya, yeah.
Yeah, I know that there was a TSC meeting last week to kind of like discuss SIGs and like kind of formalize them a little bit, but I wasn't able to attend because I was on a plane. So I think it's probably still sort of in progress. And if anyone like wants to kind of see the progress, I would suggest attending the TSC meetings, which happen every other Thursday. But once it's more formal, then we can probably talk about it in this meeting.
Great. And maybe we can bump up this roadmap to as part of that conversation and part of the like looking down the road at what's coming in.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Zach, I'm just curious, what repo or area were they interested in, or?
It was Felix, who I think is not on the call today, so I honestly don't know. So I told him I'd follow up in this meeting and see if there was anything I didn't know about, but it sounds like there's not, and so I've just encouraged him to, again, shout into Slack or file an issue anywhere, and we'll get the right eyes on it. But yeah, I agree in the long term that this would be a really nice thing to have.
And I think on that point, at the very least, we should have something in the community that says shout in the void, so at least it's documented somewhere. Hopefully it's not a total void.
Cool. Okay, next item, I just copied this out of Slack. I saw Dan Lawrence had mentioned this OpenSSF elections coming up. Everybody who contributes to Sigstore, which includes non-code contributions, so attending meetings, participating in Slack, is eligible. So you have to register to vote. Just say who you are, email, GitHub handle, and I think just a little description of where you've been participating. And yeah, and then they'll follow up once the election candidates and the timeline has been set out. Okay, package manager credits. Thanks for adding this. Andre, do you want to take it away?
Yeah. Hey, I'm making ready a PR to contribute like a gem with the protobuf specs, right? And I'm wondering, like, to publish it in Ruby gems, like, what should I do with the credentials for publishing? Like, create a personal account and just add the key, or how do we create like a Sigstore account for Ruby gems? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, can you either open the PR or just open an issue to track the PR on the protobuf specs repo? And if you have, and I missed that, sorry, I have been a little remiss.
No, I haven't yet. I'm making everything ready. All right.
Great. Then if you do that, I'll follow up with you there. For other languages, in some cases, you can kind of set up authorization based on the repository or whatever. In others, we're going to need to have some secret that winds up back in the GitHub Actions. So we are happy to like appoint, someone from the Sigstore Ruby project, or ideally a couple of folks to reduce the bus factor as kind of like the owners, and then I can give you access to add a secret to GitHub, or we can figure that out there. But we don't have a good story there, but we'll make it work if you get in touch with me.
I'll create the PR and then tag you. All right.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you, Anders and Zach. Okay, next item, Vile, call for help with Helm knowledge. Go ahead, Vile.
Yeah, so this is so we have a bunch of Helm charts, and there's a bunch of work that goes into putting out new features and everything else like that. And sometimes the Helm charts are lagging behind. So I'm just kind of amplifying this. Is Andrew Block is actually the one who was asking about this. There is a channel in the Slack called, I'll put it in there. It's basically Splat Helm-charts. So if you have Helm knowledge, I'm sure we all would appreciate having more up-to-date Helm charts. That's all.
Great. And I don't know if I've got the Slack channel name right, but yeah, please feel free to update and add a link to it. Thanks, Vile. Okay, if there's no other new business, and yeah, nice to have all the different topics, we'll go into the phase of the meeting where we do introductions. So anyone who's new to the community would like to say hello and what brings them here and what they're interested in seeing from the community. This is your chance. We'd love to welcome you.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Nick Vidal. I'm part of the clearly defined project from the open source initiative. I just joined the website and happy to work together with the Sigstore. Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining, and yeah, more than welcome. I'm glad you found your way to join the Sigstore meeting. Great.
And hi everyone, I'm Erin. I'm at ChainGuard on the developer education team and helping out with some Sigstore related initiatives. So yeah, excited to be here. Thanks.
Great, and welcome, Erin. Glad to have you here. Any more intros? Okay, let's leave it there for today. So just a reminder, next week we have our office hours format. So that is more focused on demos and end users and features. So specifically, we do have one demo lined up, which will be Cosine 2.0 and its support for OCI. I believe Josh Delitsky will be doing that. And we're still open to anyone else who's using Sigstore to come and show what you're doing with it and get some feedback and input from the community. And
No pressure. Sorry,
Mhm.
I wanted to say no pressure, Nick, since it's short notice, but we would love to have you give a little demo or presentation on Clearly Defined and chat through how you're thinking about where Sigstore and other OpenSSF projects can help out, because that sounds like a cool initiative. So just wanted to nominate, put that idea in your head that would be great for office hours.
All right. Thank you for offering that. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Yeah, no, thanks, Zach. And yeah, Nick, I can follow up with you if you're in the Sigstore Slack. I can ping you and just fill you in on all the logistics and any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you very much.
Perfect. And otherwise, the community meeting will be back in 2 weeks. Right. Last call for any comments, questions, thoughts? Okay, let's leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good week.